Hey guys, Alex here with Paragon Performance. Today we're going to be showing you how to change your front and rear brake pads on your C8 Z06. This process is going to be the same whether you have the iron rotors or the carbon ceramic. Just make sure you get the correct brake pads for which rotor you have optioned on your car. Let's get to this install. All right, little tech tip for you. Make sure you disconnect the negative terminal on your battery before doing any service with your brake components. Just helps prevent putting that car into a limp mode by accident. And then make sure you pump the pedal up and the pedal is firm before you reconnect the battery. Just save you some problems and hassles potentially when you are all done. All right, so we're gonna start up here on the front. If you did have the carbon ceramic option, you should have received a set of foam rotor protectors. They just slip on over the top of the rotor. You can also purchase a set of wheel hangers from us that just screw onto two of the studs. Just helps you guide it on and off of there nice and straight. We're just trying to keep the wheel from contacting the rotor, and you will need to do the same protection options in the rear when you are taking that wheel off as well. But this car has the iron rotors, so we don't need to worry about any of that. Taking a 22mm socket here, we're going to take our lug nuts off. All right, so we're going to go ahead and rotate this wheel all the way out. That just gives us access to everything over here, and I can show you what's going on a little bit better. All right, so we have 3 pins that we will need to remove from the caliper. I'm going to start here by taking this 13mm bolt out of the back here. We won't be able to actually remove this pin until we have got this retaining clip removed. Take note of how it's oriented in there because you will have to put it back in there the same way. And then the bottoms here with just a punch, we'll drive the pin out. We'll take the clip out, drive the top pin out, and then we should be able to remove our pads from the caliper. Push down here on this spring a little bit, make it easier to pull that bottom pin out. We're gonna take our retention clip out and take the top pin out. Pull our center pin. And if they're a little difficult to get out, you can take and kind of push out on them a little bit. Compresses that piston just a tiny bit. And then you should be able to just grab and slide your pads out. Now, it's always recommended to clean out these channels here where the pad sits. Just make sure it's nice and clean, not filled with brake dust. And then from there, you will need to press the pistons back in. These being a 6-piston caliper, it is a little more difficult. If you have old used pads in there, usually you can compress these enough that you can install a piston compressing tool and use the old pad. However, this car's fairly low miles, so it really hasn't used a whole lot of brake pad yet. So I have to install some plates in place. Like I said, an old brake pad works probably best, but you can also remove the caliper if you need to as well, taking the 2 bolts out of the back of it back there, if you have a different style tool. So, all right. This customer is actually optioned to upgrade to the Carbotech 1521 pads to get rid of the brake dust for him here. And I've already gone ahead and pre-applied some copper anti-seize on the ends of the pad here, being careful not to get it on the actual pad material, only the backing plate there. And then these will just slide right into place. And after you have cleaned up your pins, we're going to install the top pin. Take your hammer and drive it back in until it seats. We're going to grab our retaining clip, hook it under that top pin. We will slide the center pin in. It does go underneath that retaining clip. And then applying a little new Loctite to this screw, we will start it into here. Then we are going to take our lower pin, press our retaining clip down, and get that installed through here and driven in until it seats. Now we're going to get this torque down, this center one torqued down here to factory spec. Just like that, front's done. We're gonna move on to the rear. And with the rear one, it's even easier than the front. You don't have a center pin to deal with. You've just got the 2 pins to knock out and the retaining clip to take care of. So we'll knock the bottom one out first, remove that pin, the retaining clip, and knock the top one out and pretty much slide the pads out. So. And the rear one doesn't have a specific orientation for the clip. We'll pull and pull, and they just come right out. And again, if you are doing this on one that has worn out pads, you will need to push the pistons back. This car's fairly new, so the pad thickness has not changed much. So there are 2 sets of holes on these pads as well. Just make sure you are getting that fed through, not this top hole, but the next one down. There you go, those are all done. Follow your brake pads bed-in procedure. Get your wheels put on and re-torqued to factory spec of 140 foot-pounds. Enjoy your new brake pads. And there you guys have it. It doesn't get much easier than that. If you are upgrading beyond a factory pad, be sure to check out our website. If you have any questions on the options we have for you, feel free to reach out so we can help pick the best suited pad for you. As always, like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you guys next time.